Hello friends, hope all of you are at best of health and cheers. Nandakumar Karta here, welcoming you to You Speak I Speak 7. Today we discuss how to achieve optimum efficiency. In this first phase, we learn how wasteful acts can influence your efficiency. Majority of small scale and medium scale enterprises fail because they are not industry oriented to remove waste from their process flow. You will find I repeatedly use process flow in this discussion. Let's see what is process flow all about. You see, a well-designed and documented business process are critical for the success of a business activities. Whether the company is small with 2 or 3 employees or large corporation with hundreds of employees. Business that don't take the time and care to create repeatable process run the risk of quality and consistency issues. According to the research conducted by Lean Enterprise Research Center, 60% of the production activities are waste in a typical manufacturing operation. They add no value at all for the customer. Waste is defined as any activity that does not add value to your effort and your product. When you communicate, it should be free of errors. The errors identified are the single means to damage your efficiency. The core idea of lean manufacturing is quite simple. Relentlessly work on eliminating waste from the process flow. For a small and medium scale business, lean is critical for competing against lower cost. The lean concept initially originated by Toyota in the process of eliminating waste and inefficiency in its manufacturing operations. The concept became very successful and is now re-engineered to satisfy all the business sectors around the world. The goal of lean is to eliminate waste, the non-value added components in any process. When done correctly, lean can create huge improvements in efficiency, cycle time, productivity, material cost, and scrap, leading to lower cost and improved competitiveness. The ultimate goal is to provide perfect value to the customer through a perfect value creation process that has zero waste. The 7 fundamental principles discussed today is to achieve optimum efficiency eliminating wasteful acts. To understand the concept of efficient work done with zero error, I strongly suggest adding the book Completeness by Phillips Crosby in your library. I have given the link of the book in the description box. Okay, coming back to the point, the first principle is waste is processing that does not add value to the product or your efforts. It also complements to over-processing. Over-processing refers to doing more work, adding more components, or having more steps in a product or service than what is required by the customer. One simple way to counter overprocessing is to understand the work requirement from the standpoint of the customer. Before starting work, always have a customer in your mind. Produce or provide service to the level of quality and expectation that the customer desires and do just what is required. The second principle is all inventories are waste. Often it is difficult to think about excess inventory as waste. The minimum quantity available in the market may be much more than you require. Sometimes suppliers offers a considerable discount for bulk purchases. All inventories are considered assets by the accountants. But in reality, having more inventory causes problems during the production, such as product defects or damaged materials, greater lead time in the production process, and inefficient allocation of capital, and problem being hidden away in the inventory. Excess inventory can be caused by over purchasing, over producing work in progress, or producing more product than the customer needs. Excess inventory prevents dictating production related problems since defects have time to accumulate before it is discovered. As a result, more work will be needed to correct the defects. In the case of in-office inventory, waste could be files waiting to be worked on, customers waiting for the service, unused records in the database, or obsolete files. In manufacturing inventory, waste could include broken machine sitting around, more finished products than demanded, extra materials taking up workspace, and finished products that cannot be sold. The next principle says all overproduction is waste. Remember earlier I mentioned about overprocessing. Now it is about overproduction. Overproduction occurs when manufacturing a product or an element of the product before it is been asked for or required. It may be tempting to produce as many products as possible when there is idle worker or equipment time. Equipment time means production capacity. However, rather than producing products just when they are needed under the just-in-time philosophy, the just-in-case way of working leads to a host of problems, including preventing smooth flow of work, higher storage cost, hiding defects inside the work in progress, requiring more capital expenditure to fund the production process, and excessive lead time. Additionally, overproducing a product also leads to an increase in likelihood that the product or quantities of products produced are beyond the customer's requirement. In an office environment, production could include making extra copies, creating reports no one reads, providing more information than needed, and providing a service before the customer is ready. Manufacturing overproduction involves producing more products than demanded through a push production system, or producing products in higher batch sizes than needed. Friends, you will learn about the concepts such as just-in-time, just-in-case, push production system from the future episodes of You Speak, I Speak. The fourth principle is transportation is a waste. It includes logistics, product movement, shipping, shifts of classrooms, etc. We have logistics management as a specialist function because of this principle. Waste in transportation includes movement of people, tools, inventory, equipment, or products further than necessary. Excessive movement of materials can lead to product damage and defects. Additionally, excessive movement of the people and equipment can lead to unnecessary work, greater wear and tear, and exhaustion. In the office, workers who collaborate with each other often should be close together. In the factory, Materials necessary for the production should be easily accessible at the production location. And double or triple handling of materials should be avoided. The fifth principle is unneeded motion is a waste. The waste in motion include any unnecessary movement of people, equipment or machinery. This includes walking, lifting, reaching, bending, stretching and moving. Tasks that require excessive motion should be redesigned to enhance the work of the personnel and increase the health and safety levels. In the office, wasted motion can include walking, reaching to get materials, searching for files, shifting through inventory to find what is needed, excess mouse clicks, and double entry of data. Manufacturing motion waste can include repetitive movements that do not add value to the customer, reaching for materials, walking to get a tool or materials, and readjusting a component after it has been installed. The next one is waiting and delays are waste. The waste of waiting include people waiting on material or equipment. Another one is idle equipment. Waiting time often caused by unevenness in production stations and can result in excess inventory and overproduction. In the office, waiting waste can include waiting for others to respond to an email, having files waiting for review, ineffective meetings, and waiting for the computer to load a program. In the manufacturing facility, waiting waste can include waiting for materials to arrive, waiting for proper instructions to start manufacturing, and having equipment with insufficient capacity. The seventh principle of waste is a defective product is a waste. Defects occurs when the product is not fit for use. This typically results in either reworking or scrapping the product. Both results are wasteful as they add additional cost to the operations without delivering any value to the customer. The eighth waste. Even though it was not part of the Toyota production system, many people are well aware about the eighth waste, the waste of human potential. The eighth waste is also described as the waste of unused human talent and ingenuity. This waste occurs when organizations separate the role of management from the employees. In some organizations, management's responsibility is planning, organizing, controlling, and innovating the production process. The employee's role is to simply follow orders and execute the work as planned, but not engaging the frontline workers' knowledge and expertise. It is difficult to improve processes. This is due to the fact that the people doing the work are the ones who are most capable of identifying problems and developing solutions for them. In the office, non-utilized talent could include insufficient training, poor incentives, not asking for employee feedback, and placing employees in a position below their skills and qualification. In the manufacturing, this waste can be seen when employees are poorly trained, employees not knowing how to effectively operate equipment, when employees are given the wrong tool for the job, and when employees are not challenged to come up with ideas to improve the work. Thank you for watching. Take care. I'm signing off for the time being, and we meet again soon with a new episode.